Have you ever wondered what time it is? Of course you have. We check the time constantly. On our phones, our watches, our microwaves. But have you ever stopped to think about how we got here? How did humanity conquer time itself? Well, get ready, because we're about to take a whirlwind tour through the fascinating history of the clock. Our story begins thousands of years ago, long before the digital age, even before gears and springs. The earliest humans were masters of observing the world around them. They tracked time using the most reliable clock they had, the sky. The rising and the setting of the sun gave them day and the night. The changing seasons, marked by the sun's path across the sky, told them when to plant and when to harvest. The phases of the moon provided another celestial calendar, helping them track longer periods. This was nature's clock, grand and cyclical, and for a very long time, it was all we needed. But as societies grew more complex, sometime in the morning just wasn't good enough. We needed to divide the day into smaller, more manageable pieces. This need sparked one of the earliest and the most brilliant inventions in timekeeping, the sundial. The concept is beautifully simple. Stick a post, called a gnomon, in the ground and watch its shadow move as the sun travels across the sky. By marking where the shadow falls at different times, you've created a basic clock face. The ancient Egyptians and the Babylonians were masters of the sundial, building large obelisks that acted as monumental public clocks around 3,5 BC. It was a huge leap forward, but it had one glaring flaw. What happens on a cloudy day? Or, at night? The sundial was a daytime only, fair weather friend. Clearly, humanity needed a backup plan. Enter the ingenuity of ancient engineers. If the sun wasn't reliable, what was? How about something that flows at a constant rate, like water? This led to the creation of the water clock, or clepsydra, which literally means water thief in Greek. These devices appeared in places like Egypt and China around 1,5 BC. A basic water clock was just a container with a small hole at the bottom. As water dripped out, markings on the inside of the container would show how much time had passed. They were more versatile than sundials because they worked day or night, rain or shine. But they weren't perfect either. The water flow could change with temperature, and they had to be refilled constantly. It was a clever solution, but the quest for a truly accurate and self-sufficient clock was far from over. Other creative methods popped up too, like candle clocks with marks along the side, or hourglasses using sand, which were great for measuring fixed durations but not for telling the time of day. For centuries, these were the best tools we had. But the real revolution, the one that would set the stage for the modern world, was ticking just around the corner. The Middle Ages saw the birth of something truly groundbreaking, the mechanical clock. Around the late 13th and the early 14th centuries, a new kind of device began appearing in the towers of European cathedrals and the town halls. These weren't powered by sun or water, but by weights and the gears. At the heart of these early mechanical clocks was a mechanism called the Verge and the Folliot escapement. It's a bit complex, but essentially, a falling weight would turn a series of gears, and the escapement would stop and start this movement at regular intervals, creating a tick-tock sound. This was a monumental breakthrough. For the first time, timekeeping was automated. These early tower clocks were enormous, expensive, and not very accurate. They might lose or gain 15-30 minutes a day. But they were public statements. They symbolized order, community, and the rhythm of urban life, ringing bells to call people to prayer or to work. They changed the way people thought about their day, moving from the fluid, task-oriented time of the farm to the structured, hour-by-hour time of the city. Time was no more longer just observed, it was being controlled. The next great leap in accuracy came in the 17th century, thanks to the brilliant mind of Dutch scientist Christian Huygens. In 1656, he applied the principle of the pendulum, first studied by Galileo, to clock design. A pendulum swings back and forth at a very regular interval, making it a much better timekeeping element than the old Verge and the Folliot. The invention of the pendulum clock was a game changer. Suddenly, clocks went from being off by minutes a day to being accurate to within seconds. This incredible precision opened up new possibilities. Clocks could now have minute hands, and even second hands. This newfound accuracy also made clocks shrink. No more longer confined to giant towers, they began to move indoors. The 17th and the 18th centuries were the golden age of clockmaking. Grandfather clocks, also known as long casa clocks, became status symbols in wealthy homes. These beautiful pieces of furniture housed the long pendulums needed for accuracy. At the same time, craftsmen were working to make clocks even smaller. The invention of the balance spring in the late 17th century did for portable clocks what the pendulum did for stationary ones. It allowed for the creation of pocket watches, personal timepairs that people could carry with them. For the first time in history, you could own time. You could hold it in your hand. This was a profound shift in our relationship with time, making it personal and portable. The Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries kicked everything into high gear. Factories needed to coordinate workers. Railways needed precise schedules to avoid catastrophic collisions. Society demanded standardized time. This led to the establishment of time zones and the mass production of clocks and watches, making them affordable for the average person. The tick-tock of the clock became the soundtrack of modern life. But technology never stands still. The 20th century ushered in yet another revolution: electricity. Electric clocks, powered by wall outlets, eliminated the need for daily winding. They were cheaper, more reliable, and their accuracy was tied to the stable frequency of the power grid. Then came the quartz revolution in the mid-20th century. Scientists discovered that a quartz crystal, when an electric voltage is applied, vibrates at an incredibly precise and stable frequency over 32,0 times per second. By counting these vibrations, you can measure time with astonishing accuracy. Quartz clocks and watches were far more accurate and durable than their mechanical predecessors, and they could be made cheaply and in huge numbers. This is the technology that still powers most of the clocks and watches we use today. And that brings us to the present. The most accurate clocks on Earth are atomic clocks. These amazing devices aren't measuring the swing of a pendulum or the vibration of a crystal, but the resonant frequency of atoms, like cesium. They are so mind-bogglingly precise that they won't lose or gain a single second in millions, or even hundreds of millions of years. These are the master clocks that regulate our world, from the GPS in our phones that needs perfect timing to function, to the internet and the global financial markets. And of course, today, the most common clock is the one we all carry in our pockets. Our smartphones are constantly syncing with atomic clocks via the internet, giving us perfect time all the time. From a shadow on the ground to the vibration of an atom, the history of the clock is a story of human ingenuity. It's a quest for precision, for control, and for a deeper understanding of the universe. Each tick of a clock is a testament to thousands of years of innovation. So the next time you glance at your phone to check the time, take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey that brought that simple number to your screen. It's a story that's still being written, 1 second at a time. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the world of science and history. See you in the next one.